Hello, beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video on my channel, Naturally Speechy. So my name is Rashima, and welcome to this new segment that I will be doing on my channel, which will be a little bit more structured than this one, but I wanted to come and record it while I had it on my mind, right? So I want to do a segment on my channel called KiKi with the Speechy, right? So I'm going to be your Speechy. Forgive me, I walked into these people's fine establishment with no makeup this morning. But in today's KiKi with the Speechy, I wanted to come on and talk about a student. This particular student is a part of the deaf and hard of hearing community, and this particular student has some deficits with comprehension in attending to a task, right? So sometimes when I see this particular student, it is a struggle to get them to do what I want them to do. Or it's not even about what I want them to do. It's difficult for me to get them to engage with me without giving me some sort of lip. And baby, I work with middle school, so I'm getting lip left and right. So the reason I brought this story to you guys today is because I had to learn a lesson, right? So understanding what my students' deficits were is just one part of the job, right? Another part of the job is figuring out how can I best serve this student. Now, it's difficult when you're working with, I have a caseload of like 90 students in total, even though I don't physically see 90 students, I have a large caseload. So to try to differentiate the skills that one particular student is having difficulty with, that similar students with similar difficulties might not grasp a concept the same way this particular student does, or vice versa, or the way I teach one student might not work with this student. So in this particular session that I had today, I saw the student by themselves, and every time I get them, we always have to have this back and forth banter of, I'm in here to, Miss Davis is here to help you. This is what we're working on. What did we do the last time you came? Just the whole spiel of a recap. And the student will go out of their way to ask me questions or to just ramble about something that they think we're going to talk about just to get me to shut up, right? So I have to use the students' they have this like voice output device, not voice output, but it's a microphone that they give their teachers to help them, and it goes straight to their hearing aid. And in the midst of me getting frustrated that the student was not trying to comply with what I was asking them to do, I said, it's really hard for me because you don't listen. You don't pay me any attention, and it's like you try to overtalk me, and we don't get anywhere. If you just listen to what I ask you to do, or if you try to do what I ask you to do, we can get somewhere. And then the student said, "You don't listen," and I was like, "Me? I don't." I say I do listen, and he was like, "No, you don't listen," and I was like, I had to take a moment and step back and say, "Well, what do you mean by Miss Davis doesn't listen?" And it wasn't dawning on me that the student was trying to, his way of participating with me was just giving me output based on, like, he used to use sign at his old school, so he's being verbal now, so he's just rambling off all the things that he remembers. But I was taking that as him trying to get me distracted, because he'll go on and ask me about my personal life and how was your week, what is this, oh, I remember we did this. So I thought he was trying to get me off track, when in all actuality he was just spurting out everything he remembered. And so he just kept telling me, "You don't listen. Like, you're asking me questions and I'm telling you everything, but he's not waiting for me to ask each question individually. It's like I ask one question and he answers all of the ones he knows I'm going to ask him." So I just want to urge you guys to really pay attention to your students, because this was a learning moment for me. Not all the time is the way that the way that we as speech pathologists present things to our students, they're going to grasp it the way that we want them to. Sometimes we just have to give them that little piece of information and allow them to process it the way that their brains are going to process it, because not every student is the same. And listen to them, listen to what they have to say, because regardless of what they say, just be proud that they're saying something, because some students don't want to talk, especially middle schoolers. They'll just sit and look at you. So this KiKi with the Speechy is brought to you by me. It's something that I had to do today with one of my students. So I hope this helps somebody. I don't know if it was kind of like a little rant, but yeah.